It is 11 o'clock, hour number 2 on this Thursday. Pat, Conrad, Molly, Landrum back Monday. Sending me videos of him skiing, just kind of rubbing it in.
Well, I'm glad he's keeping up with you.
Is he a good skier?
Based on the video I saw, now again, it wasn't like he was doing the giant slalom, but, I mean, him coming down the hill looked like he was...
Okay, good.
Like he knew what he was doing.
Here's the important question. Have you been delivered the prediction for tomorrow?
No, I have not. Tomorrow is better to forget it.
So, if he doesn't participate...
Automatic win for Conrad.
No, then it'll be based on percentage.
Nah.
So see, you'll still have to pick. Because
if I go over essentially, then I would lose.
But see, here's the thing y'all forget. What's the name of the segment?
Yeah, I could forget everything. But then we just talk.
There's no fun in that.
Oh, man. I'm going to be up all night.
No, he has not sent me that video yet. A reminder, we will be tomorrow at Crafts on 280 in conjunction with the Birmingham Stallions. Come on by and see us. The first 50 people, they will enjoy a free lunch on Crafts of 280. They've got wings, chicken tenders, buffalo. They got simple chicken dips and Super Bowl Sunday. You can get your orders in now for platters that you could pick up for your Super Bowl party. You know, breakfast is coming soon to the 280 store. They got frozen cocktails, beer and wine coming soon on the 280 store. Fresh squeezed lemonade at the 280 store. The star of the show is always fresh, never frozen, cooked to order fried tenders, and they're white lightning and dat sauce. So come on by and see us and have an opportunity to have lunch on Crafts on 280, the first 50 people tomorrow as we are there live with the Birmingham Stallions. Joining us now on the wonderful Higginbotham hotline is Rodney Orr from Tighter Inside. Rodney, it was National Signing Day yesterday, and I'm sure it was a little bit more quiet than it was, say, 10 years ago.
Yeah, I would say so. Only signing, only signing 2 guys. It's a big difference, huge difference from what we've seen in the past. Obviously, times have really changed.
No, so there is no question about that, Rodney. So let's talk in particular about the 2 players that officially turned their paperwork in yesterday and now are members of the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Yeah, R.B. Walker. I mean, obviously a wide receiver at Moody. Really outstanding player. I mean, with great speed. Not a guy that was highly touted, recruited, but a guy that I think with his speed can be really good.
Yeah.
And then again, also Amari Saab from Glassboro, New Jersey, is a guy, obviously Keon Saab's younger brother, and the older brother, Xavier Saab, who's going to be an outstanding prospect, a 5-star wide receiver next year, that I think can be, just really outstanding as well. He's a little kid. He's only about 5'9", 160, but very explosive.
All right, Rodney, I wanted to ask you as well about Maurice Mathis Jr. I can't remember if you've talked about him on this program in the last few weeks or not. Is he officially signed with Alabama? I know he announced that he was, I guess, intended to commit. I didn't know if that had been finalized or they were still waiting on, I guess, the final word from Mathis.
Yeah, he's enrolled right now. So a wide receiver, and he's a really good player out of Georgia, guy that is rated a 4-star by some people. But, I think it's going to be interesting because that wide receiver room was kind of thin, actually, with some of the departures. So I think with the depth that, adding some of these guys is certainly going to be really valuable. But I think Mathis is a guy that could come in, and I'm not saying he could play right away, but certainly I think he's a guy that has the potential to be a really good player.
Okay, so now that the hay is officially in the barn, and depending on what service folks like to subscribe to, all indications are that Alabama finished with the best class in the Southeastern Conference. And I know a lot of people nationally, they all get enamored by the transfer portal. But if you still consider recruiting as the lifeblood of your program, you got to be impressed, Rodney. And you've covered this for a very long time. I'm not saying that this is going to end up having 13 guys drafted in the NFL or they're going to be at Alabama and win multiple national championships. But overall, I would think that you feel pretty good about what Alabama was able to do, those 26 guys that they were to bring in and have the number 3 recruiting class nationwide, but the number 1 class in the SEC.
I mean, I think it was an outstanding job that they did. Obviously, I think they filled a lot of needs. On the offensive line, they got some guys, but obviously on the defensive line, I think they did a little better than maybe what they had done in the last few years. They got some guys that I think can, whether it's Nolan Wilson out of Mississippi, Mari Johnson out of North Alabama, Jamarian Matthews. I think when you get guys like that, you certainly are building some potential there on the defensive line. Xavier Griffin's an outstanding linebacker, and again, they did a tremendous job in the secondary with guys like Jaira Edwards at safety, and then also Jordan Edmonds at corner, Zion Gibson at corner. These are all outstanding players, from front to back on the defensive side of the ball. And then I think when you look on the offensive side, we mentioned some of the offensive linemen. I think they got some guys that they really developed. I think Bryson Cooley, landing him late in the early signing period, was a huge pickup from the state of Mississippi as an offensive tackle. And, again, I think they did a great job evaluating quarterbacks. They got 2 good guys, Jet Tamala, who ended up a 5-star, Taden Kawa out of Utah, who's a big physical kid that has a strong arm that led his team to a state championship, as did Tamala. And then, of course, I think everyone talks about the running back, E.J. Crowell, who, a lot of people think could come in and maybe make a strong contribution very early, and Sadarian Morgan at wide receiver. So I think overall, when you look at the group that they brought in, I think across the board, it was strong. Again, another outstanding tight end as well, I should mention, Max Sitter out of Illinois. So there's really not a position that I could say, okay, they did not do a good job at.
Tighter Insider's Rodney Orr joining us as he does each and every Thursday here on Three Man Front. So I kind of wanted to keep on with what you were just hitting on, because I know you mentioned some guys, and I know that Ryan Grubb, he was speaking with a local TV station a couple of days ago, and he had mentioned Crowell and Sadarian Morgan as being some guys that, he would essentially that you could see contributing sooner rather than later, whatever that ultimately means. But some of these other freshmen you mentioned the Xavier Griffins of the world, guys like that. Who are some other names that you think Alabama fans need to keep an eye on and remember that they could see on the field this fall sooner rather than later?
Well, I would look in the secondary and say those guys are talented enough, whether it's Jaira Edwards at safety or Jordan Edmonds at corner or even Zion Gibson. But, they're just so talented back there. They've got a lot of depth. But I will say this, too, as we've seen, Alabama, they haven't been shy about rotating guys back in the secondary. So those guys are certainly talented enough. But again, I think depth could be an issue in terms of them getting on the field because they already have some really good guys. And yeah, you touched on Xavier Griffin, Morgan. Those guys, they're kind of the obvious guys.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, really across the board with the guys that they also brought in in the portal at some of those positions, again, maybe these freshmen are more depth pieces right now that eventually become, really good players. But I think when you look at the guys that they brought in on the portal, there's some guys in that group that I think can be real difference makers.
Back to the recruiting class that was just signed and put to bed yesterday. When all of this began, way back a couple summers ago, junior day, and then obviously the heavy recruiting and the commitments that they got from these guys that signed, do you believe, Rodney, the positions of need that they identified, do you believe that they checked those boxes, so to speak, or do you think there was one particular area maybe you feel like, just you personally, that you would like to have seen them go a different route?
Well, if we're just talking strictly the recruiting class.
Yeah, just the recruiting class, not the transfer portal, the ones that were signed.
Yeah, I think they did do a really good job overall. Now, if I were going to say, okay, nitpick a little bit, I would probably say 2 spots on defense that stand out to me are interior defensive linemen. Those are hard to come by. I would like to see a couple of more of those guys. To be honest with you, I'm talking about guys that are that can be real forces on the inside at 300 plus pounds. And I think at inside backer, I would like to see a couple of more guys there. But the one thing I will say that, eh, last year they signed 3 inside backers that were highly recruited. And so, again, maybe they didn't feel like the numbers, the way they are, that they needed to get another group of that size this year in terms of the numbers. But that would kind of stand out to me. Is Zay Hall is a guy that I think from Tuscaloosa Hillcrest, he could play inside or possibly outside. But other than that, and I don't know if they're going to play Xavier Griffin inside or outside. He could play both as well. But that would be a spot that would kind of strike me. Other than that, no, I mean, I think that, they did a really, really good job.
Okay, well, naturally, then my question is not recruiting, just transfer portal. I would ask the same question that Pat did. Are there still areas that you would say maybe weren't addressed through the transfer portal, and it's something that for you worried maybe could come back to bite this team in the fall because of a lack of talent or depth at a certain spot?
Well, I really thought that the key to this transfer portal for Alabama was the offensive and defensive lines in the trenches.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty impressed, actually. I mean, I think they did a really, really good job. And again, it's how they, obviously develop when they get here fit into this system. But I thought they did a really good job. I mean, you look at they got Racine Delgatti, the center, who I think can come in and play right away, has a lot of experience. He could step right in, I think, potentially for Parker Brailsford, or he could play guard. Caden Strayhorn, who was a signee last year at Michigan in the 2025 class, an interior player that played a little bit for Michigan. I think he's another guy that could really compete on the interior and also at center or guard, either one. And did a nice job getting Ty Haywood. You remember he was the former Bama 5-star commit as an offensive tackle. So when you start throwing him in there, he's basically going to be a freshman is really what it amounts to. That's really big. And I thought they got some good experience too. I thought they needed at least 2 guys on the offensive line with some experience, Delgatti being one of them. And then I think the other one, Javen James, started 9 games at left tackle for Mississippi State this last year. So that was good. And I think on the defensive line, they got those 2 big interior guys, Kedrick Bingley Jones from Mississippi, of course, Mississippi State. He's still petitioning for that 7th year. And I'm telling you, my sources in Mississippi think he's pretty good. They really think he's a pretty good player. And then Terrence Green from Oregon, 6'6", 330. So you're getting some bulk in there on the interior. That's what they really needed. I think Devin Tompkins from USC as an end has got a lot of athleticism. He can be a really disruptive player. And I call him Des Yumio Zululu, whatever. I have a hard time really saying his last name, from South Carolina. But I just call him Des U. And I think those guys up front, man, I think that was they appear to have done a really good job in that in the trenches.
Final question for me, Rodney. I wanted to ask you about Junior Day, which was over the weekend, and all indications are that it was a huge success, at least based on what you see on social media from the players that were in attendance. Any scuttlebutt or any tidbits you can add to any of that from this previous weekend, Junior Day?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. We talked about how they recruit the secondary probably as well as anyone in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And John Meredith was here from the Fort Worth area in Texas, and he may be the number 1 corner in the country, one of the top 5, 10 players in the country. It seems like it's Alabama and Texas A&M right now. And again, it is early, and that would be a real battle going against Texas A&M, as you know. But did a fantastic job there. And then on the flip side, the other area where they just recruit lights out, obviously, is at quarterback. And, Elijah Haven, some people think he might be the number 1 quarterback in this class. He was here, and he doesn't seem deterred at all by what Alabama already has here with the quarterbacks they have stacked up. And it sounds like, Alabama, Auburn, Georgia, Florida, among the teams to beat, with Alabama kind of leading the pack right now. Of course, Manshawn Sells They call him Bama. He's from up in Indianapolis. He's a wide receiver, about 6'5", 200, five-star rated player. I mean, he's got Ohio State. He's got Indiana. I think he even slipped over to for a visit to Auburn while he was in the state. Like I said, he's originally from here. That's another guy that was here. I thought they did a really good job of getting a good group in here for this first junior day, and it looks like that they're lining up another potentially good class if you just look at where it is at this early stage.
That is Rodney Orr. You can follow his work there at Tider Insider. I'm sure the message boards will be lively on Saturday for the Iron Bowl of basketball coming up between Auburn and Alabama. Rodney, have a great weekend. Well, we'll catch up with you next week.
Okay, guys. Appreciate it. Take
Thank
care.
you so
Thanks,
much.
Rodney.
That's Rodney Orr. He joined us on the Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services. We'll get to your text messages on the Courtesy GMC text line 205-834-9450. That's next on Three Man Front. I mean, you sense the theme today, right, for Molly? You know, Molly's always the theme queen.
She does.
She does a great job with the music. She, so you know the theme?
I feel like it's been mainly female musicians.
Do you think that's the theme today? Just female?
Well, I don't know.
musicians?
Just when I'm thinking back of the songs that I've heard so far.
I played U2.
Oh, you did play U2.
He really pays attention, doesn't he?
I can't remember all the songs.
He was listening to Bad Bunny a minute ago during the break.
No, but I
He's getting
told
fired
y'all.
up.
I told y'all I was very brave last night, and I sat down. I put my headphones in, and I said, "You know what? If I'm gonna go and talk bad about the halftime show on the radio, I need to do my due diligence. I'm gonna sit here and listen to the Bad Bunny album.
Did
that
you learn
just
Spanish
won album
overnight
of
or
the year?
something?
No, I did not. And as I told you in the break, there was one song that I did enjoy, even though I have no idea what he was saying.
See, there is a Bad Bunny song I like too because, like the Pilates classes I take, sometimes
play
they'll
that
play
sometimes?
some
Yeah.
Bad Bunny. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, well,
Good
there's one
workout
song
music.
that if he doesn't play it at the halftime show, I won't enjoy any of the other songs. But I did my due diligence, and again, it's not bad. It's just, it's hard for me to listen to music that I don't
Understand the
understand the
lyrics?
language.
Mm.
Correct.
Okay. Well, today, the three-man front Twitter poll question of the day, we simply asked the audience, do you have it in front of you, Molly?
I sure do.
Give us the latest.
Will you watch this year's Super Bowl halftime show featuring Bad Bunny? Simple yes or no question. And right now, no is winning with 75.8%.
No, that's a shock.
Never would have believed that.
What's the percentage? What is
75.8%, 24.2% saying yes.
it?
There's
Okay.
one person that responded to it. It says that other Dave on Twitter, and he just responded, "If it's not Up With People and some random marching band, then I'm out." Because
Yeah.
as Pat
Yeah.
enlightened us to the other day, that was like the first 25 years of the Super Bowl was
Yeah, it was,
Yeah.
it
Up
was a
With
marching
People every
band.
other year in a marching band.
The Grambling State Marching Band was
They had
there
a
quite a
bunch.
bit. Yeah.
I'll say Grambling was a big
Southern.
deal.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Mhm.
So
Up with people. You did a Google search on them, right? What was it? What was their?
let me find the they had like a not like a mission statement, I guess, but it was like kind of what they're okay, so here we are. So they were a performance group that did singing and dancing performances promoting themes such as multiculturalism, racial equality, and positive thinking.
Okay.
That was Up With People. And it's a nonprofit organization, or it was, based in Denver. So maybe while Landrum's out skiing, he can go by the old Up With People headquarters.
See, I am curious because I know nowadays they do not pay the Super Bowl halftime performances.
They do not. And a lot of time, the performers will actually, like I remember when The Weeknd did it,
He paid for a lot of extra
they
stuff
pay-
he wanted to produce.
correct. They
Right.
will sometimes put millions of dollars into their own performance because of all the attention.
I
they
like
get
the
from it.
Weeknd's halftime show
It was good.
from a couple of years ago.
But I'm just curious if that has been the policy from day one, or did Up With People and the marching bands, did they get a little stipend for coming to the Super Bowl? I know the Super Bowl was not as popular back in the 60s
Yeah.
when it first got started, but
Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to look back here. Okay. See, it says, okay, so apparently for Michael Jackson's performance, the NFL did not pay him, but he asked them to make a donation to one of his foundations. And so instead of paying Michael Jackson directly, they made a charitable donation. But this says the NFL generally does not pay for their Super Bowl halftime performers. However, the league covers all production and travel expenses, often costing over $10 million for the artist and their teams. But it does mention, like I was saying, that some artists like The Weeknd chose to add in additional funds for the production. But yeah, no, they're not getting a big time payday. But I mean, you just go and look after the halftime show. I know we're all going to sit here and talk about how we don't watch it. Every Bad Bunny album will be on the Billboard charts next week.
oh yeah,
Because everybody goes, oh, I don't know who this guy is. Let me go check him out now.
the downloads will be incredible.
Oh,
I
you
mean,
get the
that's-
publicity's great.
That's why they do it. It is interesting because we've been watching a bunch of folks on social media that are in the media, and they are actually getting ready for a Bad Bunny press conference in San Francisco. And it's 2 hours away from happening. And the line, you would think that they're giving away free money.
Yeah, that line is I mean, it would be. I don't want to compare it to this because I think there's more people there at the Super Bowl, obviously covering it. But it reminds me of like going at SEC media days and seeing how people flock to Arch Manning.
Mm-hmm.
Where it was, you would have thought the president of the United States just walked in the room.
Yeah.
Everyone's stopping. It's like, who's that? And it's Arch.
I guess the biggest question will be, will he say something
political
of note that would get everybody? And I think if you're the NFL, you're sitting there crossing your fingers going, please don't.
Please don't. That's why the media is there, because they're expecting that it could potentially happen.
Mm-hmm.
I would not advise him to make that kind of a statement today. If you're going to do it,
just do it live. Do
it live during the show. Now, I don't think you should do it at all. I'm not advocating for it, but I'm just saying if you are, I do not think today would be a wise time to do that.
A reminder tomorrow, hope you will join us on Crafts on 280. Free lunch for the first 50 fans there at Crafts on 280. AJ McCarron, JoJo Tillery, Michael Hires, Mason Brooks, plus us. That's right, three-man front. We'll be live there at Crafts on 280 tomorrow. So, and Stallions also will have some other giveaways and some other things going on. So, hopefully you will be able to stop by and see us. If you're unfamiliar, Conrad, tell everybody where Crafts on 280 is. It's a new location, but there used to be a former restaurant that was there.
I was about to say, yes. It's a spot many of you will be familiar with. So it's right off of 280. If you're going on 280 towards Birmingham before it splits to 31, you have the Hampton Inn there on the right-hand side of the road where the old Wendy's used to be next to the Hampton Inn. That is the new location for Crafts. So very easy, very accessible, plenty of parking, and expecting a large and lively crowd tomorrow. So hope to see all of you out there.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun tomorrow. We will be there beginning at 10. The actual Birmingham Stallions, they'll arrive at 11. And so hopefully you will join us tomorrow from there. More three-man front straight ahead. We'll talk to Rob Pate from former Auburn DB. He will join us coming up in about 15 minutes. Our resident bracketologist, Rocco Miller, at noon. And some other surprises throughout the afternoon. This is Three-Man Front on Jocks. I think that was Michael Jackson, 1983, if I'm not mistaken, in the Super Bowl halftime.
1993.
93. So I was wrong.
Many people's favorite halftime performance.
Yeah,
This
some
and
people
Prince.
say it's the best one ever.
Yep.
You know, she's in there dancing all the time. Why doesn't she choreograph something for like Landrum to do a TikTok or something?
That would be great.
I just don't
I
understand.
can do that. I can choreograph anything. I choreographed Conrad's turkey dance, remember?
Now that was good.
And she did that very quickly.
Yeah.
Like just kind of put it together at the spur of the moment. And it worked out. I did it about 30 times that day.
We need to work on your worm, but
Yeah, that wasn't good.
Yeah.
That wasn't good.
I mean, Landrum participated in
Oh, I know.
Birmingham Dancing with the Stars.
oh, I've seen the video, all right.
And he was great.
He
That was
wearing-
one of the first things you showed me when I first got this job.
Well, we knew that if we showed that to you.
It was kind of a rite of passage, I think.
We wanted to make sure
Yeah.
once you saw that there was no going back for you in regards to you not taking the job.
I was
Yeah.
a little scared, but
We were like going, look, this is what you're getting into here.
I was a little concerned, but you know what? Here I am.
Yeah, the chaps were an interesting choice, but other than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't he wear like a gold something too? Like a gold shirt, maybe?
I think it was a vest.
Yeah, I think it was
Maybe
like
it
a
was the
brown,
vest.
it looked like a brown leather vest, like
'Cause it
what you would
was,
see a cowboy wear.
Save a Horse. Wasn't the song?
Yeah,
Yes.
wasn't it Save a Horse, Ride a
Yes.
Cowboy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great song.
It's a fitting song.
Text line is open, 205-834-9450. Many of you are chiming in on our Twitter poll question of the day, which we ask is, will you watch the Super Bowl halftime show with Bad Bunny? Right now, 77% of you are saying no, you will not watch the halftime show with Bad Bunny, while 23% says yes.
Yeah, somebody chimes in here from the state of Oklahoma on the Courtesy GMC text line. They say, imagine that. 75% of the people polled in Magaland don't like Bad Bunny. Yeah. There's probably a lot of people across the southern part of the country that right in that boat. Brian says Prince was the best halftime show, period.
That was good.
I know
See,
that's one that a lot of people.
The Prince halftime show is the first one I really remember watching
Yeah.
as a kid.
I was
and
about
being
to
like,
say.
this is awesome.
See, and a lot of the ones that people like Michael Jackson stuff, for example, I wasn't born for that.
Yeah,
And
neither.
I've gone back and watched the video of it, but
Mhm.
it's different when you watch it, kind of in the moment and stuff. But yeah, Prince was great in the rain. Yeah, somebody says Prince in the rain down in Miami, best halftime show ever. May never be beaten. Yeah, may not be. Let's see. Someone said I would take Bruno Mars every year. Just give him a residency there with the NFL.
Wasn't it like Coldplay, Bruno Mars, and Beyonce one
Oh, yeah.
year? That was a fun halftime show.
Did Bruno Mars do it one year by himself too, or maybe it was just that one year that he was?
I know
with them?
Beyonce's done it like 3 times.
Yeah, one of my friends, him and this was like a number of years ago, but him and his girlfriend at the time, they actually went to a Bruno Mars concert in Atlanta, I believe. And he said that was probably the best concert he's ever been to. Like, he's like, I'm not even a huge Bruno Mars fan, but just watching him perform is incredible. And he said, you also don't realize until you see him that he's like 5'4".
Oh yeah, he's little.
He's very small.
I went to a Beyonce concert when I was in high school
Yeah.
at Nissan Stadium in Nashville, and it was
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah, Pat went to one in Atlanta last year. We were trying to get him to do all the media day stuff, but he's
Oh,
adamant about
yeah.
going to that Beyonce concert.
Well, he
and-
forgot
Yes.
his chaps.
Well, it was just
We saw enough of them.
it was just well. Some of them had holes in them,
Yes, they did.
like large holes in
Mm.
them.
Yes. Yeah, it was a very interesting, and we talked about it the week that we were in Atlanta, because when we arrived on Sunday afternoon, the event starts on Monday. Beyonce, was that her last show in Atlanta on Sunday?
It was something like that where she had played like 3 nights back to back to back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you had the Beyonce concert, you had SEC football media, and you had WWE.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's
all
right.
going on. So you had Beyonce at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. You had WWE at Phillips Arena.
Yep.
And then you had us wandering around.
Yeah. It
That
was
quite a dichotomy of a crowd.
well, and I just remember because it was I believe it was the first night we were there when we were going to the special screening of
the
the
movie.
Alabama Nick Saban and Bear Bryant documentary.
Mhm.
And, the location that they had us up in a private room, kind of up on the top floor with like a special viewing area and everything. But before that, we had to sit and wait because, they were waiting to clear it out and get
down
everything
the lobby
set
of
up.
this hotel.
And we're sitting down there in the lobby of this hotel, and it was all Beyonce fans there.
Yeah, interesting
and
viewing.
us. A lot of Beyonce fans and the three of us.
I remember Landrum taking a video, sending it to his wife, and saying, "Look what we're right in the middle of."
Well, I remember at one point I said, "Wow, that's a really supportive husband. It's very nice of him to dress up like that with his wife." And Landrum kind of reminded me, "I don't know about that's the."
It was two dudes.
Don't know if that's the.
Yeah, I mean, it's what it was.
Yeah, hard to tell.
I know we were, first time we've taken you out of your local communities.
That's right.
To see the world in Atlanta, and you were able to.
He's very sheltered.
It's hard to tell sometimes. You know? You never know.
You did go to Hayden.
That's right. See, here we go. Uncle Jerry from Hayden. Maybe it's just a Hayden thing. He says, "Give me J-Lo and Shakira."
Apparently, that's big.
It was a big one. Collins.
By the way, you guys were talking about Bruno Mars. Bruno Mars, he was the headliner in 2014. And
with
then,
Red Hot Chili Peppers, I think.
Correct.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yep.
I was about to say, I feel like he did it his own.
He's done it a couple times.
I guess, he's done it twice then. Collins from Pell City. Katy Perry's halftime show was one of my favorites. The Left Shark and her riding out on a giant tiger were quality entertainment.
Yep. Lenny Kravitz joined her during that show. Missy Elliott, the Arizona State Sun Devil Marching Band, one of the best marching bands in the history of marching bands. Yeah,
that would have... never mind. Let's see. Who's singing the national anthem? What is the best Super Bowl national anthem of all time? I know a lot of people say Whitney.
It's got to be Whitney. I mean, that's like...
I do not know. Let's see. Who is singing the national anthem at the Super Bowl? It is going to be... Oh, Charlie Puth. Okay. He's doing the... he's a pop singer, if you're not familiar. But he will be doing the halftime show. He's very talented, very good voice.
Didn't Reba McEntire do it like a year or two ago?
I don't know. I feel like, did Chris Stapleton do it last year, maybe?
That was the Eagles Chiefs.
Chris Stapleton?
Like 2023, I
remember that one.
Yeah.
I feel like Reba did do it somewhat recently.
I love the Chris Stapleton one.
Yeah, that was very good.
His is awesome.
Old Reba. Are you looking it up?
Yeah, it was in Las Vegas. It was 2 years ago.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, Reba did the national anthem between the Chiefs and the Niners.
Oh, here we go. This is when you know it's bad. Someone says, "I would rather chaperone Conrad and Faye's weekend than watch Bad Bunny." That could be arranged. What if we did that? You got to chaperone us while we watched Bad Bunny.
Do you think Faye is a Bad Bunny fan?
I'm gonna go out on a limb here, Pat. I'm gonna guess no.
Does your wife like Bad Bunny?
No, because she hates music that she can't understand. She doesn't like music because I know this is gonna sound surprising, but like sometimes if I need to focus on something or if I'm like working and doing something, I want music in the background, I'll listen to like classical music or something sometimes that has no words. And Paige can't do that. No, she can't do music with no lyrics, and she can't do music with lyrics in a different language. So
I did that all the time in college.
Yeah.
Like film scores. Like if I really had to study or like work on a paper or something, I would play classical or like songs, like scores from movies.
Yeah. I like some Chopin every now and then. You just gotta, depends on what the mood is. Someone says the worst halftime show they can remember was Bruce Springsteen. They said, "I thought he was going to have a stroke on the stage." Did he have a medical emergency, or was it just a not great performance? Because I'm sure we've all seen, I've been to concerts before where obviously the person that was performing was indulging in things before the concert and was not able to give a good show.
That was 2009 in Tampa.
Bruce?
When Bruce did that.
Okay.
Him and the E Street Man.
See, I don't really remember that one.
Let's see. This one says, Dr. Dre a few years ago was my favorite with Eminem, 50 Cent, Snoop Dogg, and Kendrick. I don't remember anybody complaining about that halftime. I loved that one.
That one was awesome.
That was fantastic. Yeah. I thought that was great. Let's see. Darren says, yeah, give me Bo Cephas and Chris Stapleton every year for National Anthem. Yeah. They did a great job there. Yeah, a lot of you chiming in here. Let's see. Prince had a killer guitar solo during Purple Rain in his Super Bowl performance. I'll never forget it. This one says, can confirm Bruno Mars is an amazing concert. I've been to one myself. Yeah, again, I told you, my friend said it was the best concert he's ever been to. Let's see. This one, comes in. Danny from Coleman says they need to let Fergie do the national anthem so we can have some entertainment before the game. Yeah. You remember that?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Yeah. Fergie's very talented, but that was not her day. What was that for? That wasn't a Super Bowl, was it?
No.
I'm trying to remember if that was like an all-star game or something like that. It was something, but yeah, that's probably the worst that NBA all-star game in 2020. That was it. Yeah. It was really, really, really bad. But we appreciate you chiming in. Some more of your text rolling in. We'll get back to them. 205-834-9450 on the Courtesy GMC text line. And we'll get back to your text as we move along.
We will continue on. We'll talk to Rob Pate, former Auburn DB, next on 3-Man Front. .47, welcome back into Jocks 3-Man Front. Rob Pate, former Auburn DB, joins us now on 3-Man Front. It's Super Bowl weekend. Rob, I hope you're doing well.
Hey, guys, I'm great. How are y'all?
Have you ever been to the Super Bowl? Have you visited the Super Bowl? Have you ever been there before?
No.
No?
No, I've never been to a Super Bowl.
Okay.
That's that's an over the mountain type of thing for folks, man. That's not a.
Well, that's not.
something
I know me.
like
People
I
like
can
me
do.
and you don't go to Super Bowls. I
That's
mean,
right.
I've just never
That's
really had
probably
that
where
much of an
Landrum is.
interest. Yeah, you're right.
Landrum's on.
You're right.
Landrum's on vacation, right?
It's air quotes.
Vacation.
Oh yeah, listen. He's on that ski run right now. You can't hide money, Rob. You know that.
I know, man. He is. He's just filthy rich.
But I do know that you played with a lot of talented people that played in the NFL. I'm just trying to think back to the roster when you played some of your teammates. Who would be the top one that played in the Super Bowl off the top of your head?
Heath Evans played in some Super Bowls.
That's right.
With the Patriots.
Sure did.
I don't know that we had many others. You know, we had several guys that had great careers. Takeo Spikes, but he never was with a team that was great. We had Marcus Washington played a long time with the Redskins, but I don't think they ever did. I can't remember if Rob Baronis, if the Titans were, if he was kicking for them. It may have been Al Del Greco.
I think it was Del Greco. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's probably Heath Evans, maybe the only one.
Oh, wow. I figured there would be a few more because you did have a lot of talented guys that you played with. Will you and your family tune in this weekend? Is the Super Bowl something that is must-see TV for you each and every year?
It is, predominantly because of my boys. I mean, they're sophomores at Auburn High, and you know, one of them is a big Kansas City Chiefs fan and has been for a long time. The other one's a big Titans fan. And, you know, so they have an interest. We do fantasy football together, and so that's always something that's fun to do as a family. And, yeah, we'll definitely be interested to see what happens.
Rob, I wanted to ask you, because yesterday was, I guess, what used to be a very special day in college sports, and that's National Signing Day. It definitely has a much different look to it now than it did back in your days, of course. So I just wanted to ask you if you have any specific memories from your signing day or that time, or stories you may have heard, because it was quite the event back in the day.
Was yesterday signing day again?
Unbelievably, yes, it was. It was actually the official signing day. Yeah.
My gosh, see, I didn't even realize that, and that is how you know, insignificant it's become. I mean, look, for the people that are signing the scholarships, I mean, it's life changing. It's you know, just the reward for all the hard work, and you know, I know their families are grateful. It's amazing. You know, when we did it, I got to the school early that morning to fax the paperwork over. So we didn't even we didn't have the signing, like the signing ceremony was all for show. The paperwork went in much earlier. The signing ceremony was in our locker room, and that happened in the afternoon so that people could get there and attend it. On signing day, I actually went to Legion Field that morning, and one of the local news stations interviewed me and an Alabama signee at the 50-yard line, and just talked about you know, what it meant for us, and just the path to get there, and so that was neat, having gone to so many games there. And the Alabama signee was a kid from Moody. I can't remember his name, but he was a defensive lineman, and you know, so it was an honor. I mean, it was just all the work and the people and the teammates, and just the opportunity to represent those folks. You know, it was special.
Rob, yesterday Alex Golesh met with the media. He discussed signing day. He discussed the transfer portal, all the work that they have done. I know it's very early in the process, but so far, when you take a look at that roster from a treetop view, just your impressions so far of what he's been able to bring in.
Well, he had his work cut out for him because obviously, you know, we had a big exodus with a coaching change. I think that they did a fantastic job of trying to build a competitive team and trying to stack talent the best they could. You know, no more than offensive line, I think, was the biggest issue. At the end of the day, when he stepped foot on campus, I think Auburn had 3 offensive linemen in the room, and you know, on scholarship, and so that room had to be totally transformed. And we all know all the quarterbacks were gone, so that room had to be totally transformed. every running back except for 2 or 3 left. So just a massive rebuild, and what they were able to do, I think, is phenomenal. I saw his comments about, if he's praying at night for, what needs to improve, and he hopes the Lord's divine hand can help these guys, solidify quicker. It's at the offensive line, and I would agree with that. I think that's the most difficult spot to get better in a hurry in the transfer portal, because there's so much communication that goes on up there, and those guys just have to play together for a while before they get really good. And you can see that with teams like Indiana that built a powerhouse that went undefeated this year, but most of their offensive linemen were in the system for a long time, and so they know one another. And so I do think that's a difficult spot, but everywhere else, I think they did yeoman's work, and I think that Auburn people should be proud of the level of effort and enthusiasm they recruit with. I think they're hitting it hard on the recruiting trail. I think they said they spent about $30 million, what Justin Hokanson reported.
Mm-hmm.
And to think that, my gosh, that $30 million was spent, you need to be able to justify that with some quality players. But I think that they've done it.
Former Auburn DB Rob Pate joining us here for another moment on Three-Man Front. So before we let you go, Rob, you kind of just touched on it there. I wanted to ask you if you had seen that dollar amount you have with the $30 million. So even going back the last couple of years, right? I don't think it was quite that high last year, but it was north of $20 million for last year's roster. Have you been impressed with Auburn's commitment to NIL? Not saying that, we didn't think they'd be competitive in this space, but I think they've really kind of shown that they have, no one can really compete with the Texases of the world, but in terms of that next tier, I think Auburn's clearly showing that they have the resources to kind of operate in that area. It's impressive to me.
Yeah, no, I mean, Auburn people want to win, and I think that there's a great desire to do whatever it takes to be competitive, and until there's some salary cap and some guardrails around what they're doing, like you said, Auburn's going to be competitive, but we're not going to be at the top because that number is going to continue to escalate. I mean, if we're at 30 million, then I guarantee you Ohio State, Texas, some of these other schools are at 50. I mean, it's just going to keep doing that until that's no longer, something that is allowed. But yeah, I mean, I don't have any doubt that the Auburn faithful will do what it takes to make Auburn competitive. We just have to have great game day decisions. We need to out-coach some teams. We need to out-scheme some teams. And, we've got to have a better game plan than feeling like we can just throw some guys out there that have a lot of stars beside their name and think that's enough to compete. Got to have some of those guys, but you also got to have a great plan. And I think that this coaching staff will get that part done.
That is Rob Pate. He joins us each and every Thursday here on Three-Man Front. Rob, I hope you and your family have a great weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl, and we'll talk to you next week.
Hey, you guys too. Y'all take care. War Eagle.
Thank you, Rob. Rob Pate joined us on the Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services. Our resident bracketologist, Rocco Miller, joins the show next. Where does Alabama and Auburn fall if the NCAA Tournament Selection Sunday was this week? We'll get Rocco's opinion.